Greetings, dear professor. My name is Brian Polanco. As you can see in my ID. Okay. In today's video, we're going to talk about scaffolding in education, particularly how it applies in CLIL classes. Scaffolding is an important teaching strategy that helps students progress and achieve their learning goals by providing the necessary support. Please keep this idea in mind. But what is scaffolding? Well, scaffolding is a teaching method that involves providing temporary support to students to help them achieve a task they cannot complete independently. This support can be gradually removed as the students become more proficient. Why it is important? Well, let's think about scaffolding. Please watch, see this picture. In construction or when you're building a house, when you think about scaffolding, you'll see big, tall buildings that have this type of structure. What is that scaffolding doing? That scaffolding is giving support to the structure because it cannot stand on its own yet. And then when the construction becomes stronger, builders are able to slowly take that scaffolding away. But they don't do it all at once. They do it in parts. When they are sure that the building structure is strong enough, they completely take it away. It's the same for kids. We're going to give them supports at the beginning and then gradually remove those supports so they are able to stand on their own and do the tasks on their own. That leads us to the next slide. This is the model of scaffolding. In this picture, we can see how responsibility flows from teachers to students. First, in the I do section, the teacher models and the student observe. Then we go to the guide practice, that's the we do. Teachers and students are working together, so the teacher is guiding and the students are practicing. And finally, we go to the you do, where the teacher is observing students doing the task independently. The teacher responsibility at the beginning is high, is really high. But at the end, it falls on the students to be able to do that independently. Why scaffolding is important in CLIL? In CLIL classes, students are learning both content and language at the same time. Scaffolding is crucial because it provides a supportive framework that gradually reduces as students become more independent. Type of scaffolding. There are several types of scaffolding techniques. Um, we have modeling, visual scaffolding, language support, um, graphic organizer, and, and other interactive activities. These strategies help students access content, express their understanding, and develop their language skills. Implementing scaffolding in an effective way. Effective scaffolding in CLIL requires ongoing assessment, differentiation, and strategic fading of support. Teachers must carefully plan and adjust scaffolding to meet the diverse needs of their students throughout the learning process. And the three next slides, I list three specific uh, cases where we can apply scaffolding in a clear class. For example, for introducing new vocabulary, let's look at this first case. Imagine you're teaching a science lesson in a clear class. The class is about the water cycle. To scaffold new vocabulary, first we have to pre-teach key terms like condensation, evaporation, collection, precipitation, and so on, and use some visual aids and some short and simple definition. Then we're going to use these words in context and encourage students to use them in some sentences. And finally, we, we can provide sentences or vocabulary lists that support uh, the use of these words correctly. Now, the next slides. Uh, Scaffolding is useful to explain complex concepts. In our second case, think that you're teaching a history lesson about the Industrial Revolution. The concepts are complex and can be overwhelming, but this is how scaffolding can be useful in this class. First, we can begin with a simplified explanation and gradually introduce more detailed information. Next, we can use timelines, videos, and podcasts to make the context more interactive or more accessible. And finally, break down the information into smaller and manageable parts and check the understanding of our students frequently. Finally, when we want to develop writing skills, let's say you're focusing on developing writing skills in a geography class. A student need to write a report about climate change. And scaffolding can be useful in this case too, because we can provide a template with headings and subheadings to guide the structure of the report they're going to do. Then we can offer phrases or transitions word to make it simpler, like first, on the other hand, second, last but not least, and that kind of phrases. And finally, conduct peer review session to receive feedback from their classmates on their draft. In conclusion, in conclusions, scaffolding is a crucial component of successful clear instruction because it supports both language development and content mastery. And as I said before, it provides a supportive framework to learn easily both the content and the content, sorry, um, and the language at the same time in a easy way. And all this video was prepared based on some videos that I found on YouTube. Here is the list of reference. And that's it. Thank you. Thanks for your attention. And start.